part which is called laws of UX. So laws of UX specifically, yes. So incentivization is like sometimes you get incentives through user experience. Like if you look at this Flipkart thing, you select something and then it says that frequently bought together with a better discount. So you didn't come with a plan to buy two products, but because of this bundling that is happening and you're getting even better discount. So I have many times ended up buying more than what I came to buy. And then also when like look at all Zomato and all those things, they incentivize their experiences by giving you some points. They're like, you can use this thing to get additional discount, especially for many places where people expect this kind of discounts like flight ticket booking and all those things. Their incentivization pattern works. Incentivization mostly works that you have something in your cart and then you incentivized it and then it gives you a revised offer or a revised thing based on that. And yeah, so now this laws of UX, this is an excellent website also. Please go to this website to learn all the laws of UX. They are a collection of different psychological results. So many years back, there are a lot of famous psychologists who did a lot of experiments on human behavior. So this is about using psychology to design better products and services, like that. Oh, the second edition, I think this is a book, Designer's Guide, Laws of UX, using psychology to design better products and services. And it's a fantastic place, fantastic resource. Many times you would not even think that, oh my God, that's why I was doing it. So look at some examples. The first one is called Fitts Law. So the Fitts Law says that the time required to rapidly move to a target area is a function of the ratio between the distance to the target and the width of the target. In simple words, it is that where you place and how big you place the CTA is the success rate of that button to be clicked, right? So because if you keep this CTA, your main visual focus area is here. You keep the CTA here, and it is also really small, not a full button, but it's like a small text. Then for you to move from here to here and click, that exponentially increases, right? So this is one of those examples. The second one is Hicks law. So Hicks law says that the time it takes to make decision increases as the number of options increases. Let's look at Craigslist. So when you go to this Craigslist site, you'll see it's just a list of links. Let it just open. Yeah. So where do you want to focus here? Tell me. It is one of those poorest examples of UX. It's not in a hierarchy. And just look at the same example when you have so many things. Let's say I search running shoes. And here, if I click here, it's a lot of information, right? But the UX has taken care of it. See, it kind of, reduces the opacity of everything else. It helps you reduce. This is a practical application of Hicks law. So with Hicks law, what you're doing is that with lot of options, decision making becomes complex. So you're reducing the options through a user experience solution, right? Now you don't see so many options. You just see these options with C. This is one of the applications of Hicks law, where we are reducing the number of things. But see, there is one more application. Have you guys ever done? Have you guys gone through this experience where select your state or select your country? This option has come from a drop down. Huge list, 200, 300 list. So the question is, how tall will you make the drop down, right? So a simple example, look at these things also. When I am searching here, superbike, what is the number of item in the drop down? See, 10, right? So similarly, when you look at Google also, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Yes, when it comes to contact list in phone, and also when it comes to choose your mobile phone that network provider or country code. So when you go to that country code drop down, long list of drop down things come, and then you have to choose. So that is where the drop down length the drop down length is kept to 7. So 7 is the golden figure. So we'll quickly come to another law which will reinforce it. But Hicks law states, so if you look at these examples, Craig's list versus categorically kept in hierarchy, right? Then when we look at this page, Jacob's law is basically the foundation of UX patterns. Users spend most of their time on other sites. This means that users prefer your site to work the same way as all other sites they already know. So when you say copy, uh, you will say that this is not copy, but this is leverage on the UX pattern. So this is the that is why we learned about UX patterns before we are learning about it. So the UX pattern is that when you start typing, it keeps on giving you options. Now see, this is where Netflix applied Jacob's law, but in a different context, right? Do you think they have copied each other? But this is Jacob's law. The behavior is same. The manifestation is different. Context is different. This is not copying. This is leverage on the pattern, what people are used to. Do not create a new animal every time. That is not good for good user experience. Then we look at the next one, von Rosterov effect, also known as the isolation effect. That when multiple similar objects are present, the one that differs from the rest is most likely to be remembered. Go to Airbnb, choose any of these houses. I mean, this entire page, okay, this is a sold out property for a bus. Let me choose. This is also sold out. People are buying this kind of vacation, see? Okay. Domes. Now, look at this entire page. Where is Von Rosterov added? The button. Because of this color, button is something which is drawing my attention. Rest everything has similar hierarchy, right? So this is where isolation effect happens. So in your experience, whenever you want to make anything stand out, use contrast. The contrast can be added to color. Contrast can be added through this also. In Google, what we were seeing, contrast is added. So even contrast is added through motion. So you will sometimes find that in YouTube and all, in Spotify also. So when you like any song, then a small micro interaction happens. So your entire page, everything is same. That one thing went through some difference, and that is something that creates an impact on your brain because it goes through the serial isolation effect, the isolation effect, and that's how it stands out from the rest. Then yeah, serial position effect, that users have propensity to remember the first and last items in a series. When is this thing going to hit all of you is when you are creating navigation, home and user, they are going to remember these two the most important things. So people tend to remember these two most. So when we go to Airbnb, right, when we go to Netflix, so I tell use this. So home and browse by language. So when you are creating this kind of a navigation, the important thing which you need to test with your user is the importance of all these things. Why did all these menus exist is through user research. It's been asked, and people have verified that okay, we need home, a place where everything will be there. We need TV shows, movies, new and popular, my list, browse by language. After you have these 1 2 3 4 5 6 things, what you need is the order of these things, because are they alphabetical? No, right? Not alphabetical. If things are not alphabetical, then you need a strong reason why this order should be followed. And because of this, the isolation, the serial position effect, the research may have given them insight that browse by language and home are the important two most things. So after research, the result, you can ask a simple question that out of these things, what is most important to you? Just add numbers. And maybe this is the first ranking, this is the second ranking. Maybe this is the third ranking. Because TV shows and movies, if you see, between the second one also, TV shows and my list, this is what people will try to focus into, like this. Here also, in continue watching, they have no control here, right? But there is one more UX law which we are going to come, the Tesla's law. That okay, let us go to the law. Let me take it from here. This was, if we go to this law is also very interesting. So what Miller's law says is that Miller's law is not in that the deck, but you can see it from here. The average person can only keep 7 plus minus 2 items in their working memory. So maximum 9. So how many phone numbers can we keep in our working memory? 9 phone numbers. 5 to 9. That's it. So this is average person. This is the data of a research. Now look at Netflix. How many things do you see here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many movies do you see here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? And after that, they add the scroll. The next lot comes. Go to Hotstar. You will see similar examples. Okay, it's locked out. But let us go to Airbnb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So because when you design this thing, the decision that you have to take is how big should I make each of these cards? How many things should appear in a row? Right? And because average people cannot keep more than, from 5 to 9, 6 is a golden number, 6 to 7. The same thing happens when you choose a drop down. So when you go and get a drop down, Airbnb or home, here also if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the drop down starts. So a lot of these places you'll see that this 5, the 6 plus minus or this Miller's law is used. Then we are almost there. We can then take questions. So serial position we did. Then we have Tesla's law. So Tesla's law says that it establishes that for any system there is a certain complexity that cannot be reduced to the maximum. So we keep on saying that make the experience simpler, easier, make it easy to use and all. But for a particular system, let's say an aircraft, to fly an aircraft, we cannot make it so simple to fly that it goes into a toss. There is only a limit to which the complexity can be reduced for any given system. It depends from system to system also. And then the last one is Zeigarnik effect. So the Zeigarnik effect says that people remember uncompleted or incomplete or interrupted task better than completed task. So many times in LinkedIn and all, you'll find that your profile is 80% complete. So you will not remember 80% complete. You'll remember 20% incomplete. So that is an important cue to push people to complete their stuff. See, people never think about how much money they have. They always think about how much they don't have. Right? There is always a psychology to look for the stuff you don't have, then feel happy about the stuff that you already have. Right? So these are mostly the laws, guys. But in this module, I actually created this little detailed version of it, laws of UX, where I have also added lot of, some other laws and added some examples. So I think these examples are going to help you. By more examples you see, more you understand that, okay, this is where I'm going to apply it. By the way, this is a law which stands good for our portfolios, which is called aesthetic usability effect. So whenever you see something beautiful, you consider it to be usability wise also good. So no matter how, even if they suck at their usability, people will think that, oh, this is good because they look good. So there is a psychological impact on it. Okay, then Hicks law, then right. goal gradient effect, and you already have the main list of all the laws. This is all the laws. Yes, so when you even go to Amazon also, so if you see in one row, they tend to keep it tight. So let's say I click on this option, right? So you will see that when they are suggesting, customers who viewed this also viewed. See 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that you can keep them in your brain temporarily. This is called the active memory. Keep something in your brain, but from 8 to 9:20, you'll keep on losing stuff also. Okay. So this is where, so when you go to the top menus, so this is where the contrasting law. What is the contrasting law that conflicts with it is the Tesla's law. That for a given system, there has to be a minimum which cannot be reduced to after a level. So sometimes you know it is complex if you keep it Miller's law, but this complexity is solving a bigger problem. Yeah, same in real estate websites and so many other stuff. So for e-commerce, this is a shopping mall at your fingertip. You can go and buy even bikes in mall. I don't know if you can buy bikes. Understanding of UX and create a portfolio. If we just look at this example of this nice portfolio project, so which user research you guys are doing from the assignment? Is it about doctor's appointment app or fitness app? See, this is the kind of information that if you guys have, you can proceed to this level of your case study. If you guys have done research on your case study through survey, then this is a survey of 20 people, 5 interviews, right? And this is the result of the survey. And from there, and this is kind of an in-depth one-on-one interview. From there, this is the result. So please look at these examples, how user research is explained in the case studies, right? Survey is done and 42 users, 15 questions. You don't have to explain what exactly the user research questions were. And from there, user interview, when the jobs to be done things were done. That's it. Only this much part is required for your research. So after you are done with your research, the end convergence of the research is establishing the jobs to be done. So when you guys said that we have done the research for the elderly fitness app, have you guys reached a level to define the jobs to be done for the elderly? Unless you are doing these assignments for an objective to influence your case study, there is a high chance that you will be spending weeks on the research, weeks on the design, and suddenly at one point of time you'll have no time to work on your case study, which is not efficient. Because without case study there is extremely, I mean, almost no chance of getting a job without a good portfolio. So in order to be strategic, just look at your MVP scope. You do the research. See, design thinking is non-linear. You can come back and do the research again, right? So if you have done contextual inquiry, means you have spoken to elderly people. You have asked them what fitness means to you. Sessions do you have? You have a contextual inquiry, you have a research. Maybe those people were doing morning walk. You went to the context and you asked them questions. You also did morning walk with them. Get those photographs like this, right? I did contextual inquiry. These are the 4 things that came out of that contextual inquiry of 6 people. Time box it to 1 day or 2 day. But in 2 days, I should have something as an output. See, this is another example of a case study. If you want to become a design researcher, look at this person. There are 2 friends who worked on this case study, not IntelliPad students, but separate students. But look at the volume of research pages they have added. See, the problem 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 insights, our solution, and then the design UX process, primary research, right? All survey results, key insights, qualitative research, key insights from the interviews, secondary research, affinity mapping, research outcome, competitor analysis, right? Target market, and then coming to this user persona creation, and then again empathy map, and then comes to the user journey map. So if you can just create this kind of, a user journey map, because that is where you reflect on all your the journey of an user and where the ups and downs are, what they're trying to do and all. But this is an extremely research heavy thing. When you are saying that I have done the assignment, maybe what is the output of the assignment? Is it a PowerPoint or a Google document? What is the output that you guys have created? Word document. What good is this Word document going to do in your portfolio? You have the information, translate that Word document into something like this. So whatever you're in Word, PowerPoint, you have to present it in your case study, right? So in your case study, these are some examples of presentation in your case study. All those heavy research condensed into the key meaning of the research. That okay, after the research, I came to know. Clear, everyone. So try to translate it into this kind of a pitch. See, after we are done with a little bit of Figma mode, all those stuff, you should start with your portfolio in mind. If you keep on chilling that okay, one day I will start, then there will be a lot of work to do for your portfolio, right? Consider this amount of research as good amount of research, because you have to put your designs also, right? Only research is not going to help.
Because
See, all the assignments are created in a way that it will fuel your portfolio. Look at the assignments. The first assignment is to create a thumbnail. That assignment is for a case study project only. See, elderly app and this digital art museum, whatever you have got. If you take that as a case study, as that Professor Kaur has given, can fuel that work also, right? Consider them as connected. Then it will help you. If you disconnect them, then you have to do twice the amount of work. Then you are free to do a separate effort for research, and then you work on the research part of it. But get to the what of the research faster. Don't spend weeks on the research. All I'm trying to tell everyone is that if you are working on a fitness app, try to don't make your app. First of all, see, I want all of you to become successful after this course, right? So for all of you to become successful, you have to be exceptionally good in whatever you are bringing to the industry. So when you are creating a fitness app where the solution is very predictable. In my fitness app, I can measure steps. How many of you are, wow, what a feature? How many of you are feeling this from this feature? Any one of you? My fitness app can measure heartbeat. Wow. I mean, is this a wow feature for anyone? That, oh my God, never thought you can measure steps. No, right?
no,
Think differently. If you are not thinking differently, when you are presenting, growth is an excellent work where holistically the concepts are presented in a professional way. But if you look at the actual concepts, if you look at the navigation, okay, I onboard. Okay, after onboarding, I start the application. I create my plan. Okay, this creation of the plan is something where you can think about more personalization things. Maybe it can create your plan by taking your photograph and asking some small amount of quiz. Okay, what is the next kind of a thing? When you are discovering workouts, you are just getting all these suggestions, and then you are going into each workout, and then you are typing these workouts, and then basically you are doing those workouts. So the actual wowness of the experience, the problem that you have solved differently, that is not that well showcased here, I would say. That what is the workout with a trainer or use tracker. So what this person is doing, you can work out with a trainer or tracker. So after this, what happens when I hit extreme HIT, let's start, then this thing happens, or should I go to the workout page? Not sure. Then when you go to the food part, can you think about taking a photograph and measuring the calorie? Now these features have also come in. But how do you track foods? How do you, because this is a conventional way of finding categories, and each category you see a lot of food. You click on one food, you basically see a lot of things. But people are going to ask you questions that what uniquely did you solve in this experience? That is where your thought power is going to come, right? Your problem solving is going to come over there. That you can say that okay, based on my preferences that I set initially, this is going to dynamically change. Based on my travel plans, based on it can ask me how am I feeling today. Am I feeling hungry? It is going to dynamically generate list. We have to think about some wowness, guys. Otherwise, people will be extremely bored about what you're presenting. And then they will focus on things where they will say that, oh, your design system looks like inconsistent because I can see extremely circular things, I can see little less circular things, and I can see rectangular stuff. So why didn't you make your search also rectangular? They will try to look at all these details in your design. But out of all those things, this design is almost in a very good shape in terms of craft and overall storytelling. That's where this project comes in. Track your fluid intake, right? So this is where types of water and how much you have taken. This is where you are taking your fluid intake. So you can say that okay, normally water intake happens, but I'm doing fluid intake, and this is where you do fluid intake. But then people will come and say, what if you want to add some other type of fluid? Then you'll be like, I haven't thought about it, right? Your user may not tell you that you need to add all types of fluid. There will be things suggested by you also. Don't think that you are a designer for your user, you are doing user centric design, but at the same time, you are creating things that user has not asked and you are validating it with them. So you are basically creating this concept, and in your user research, you validated it with them. Because what is design thinking? Non-linear. 90% of the times when we are designing, we don't have 100% research in place. Velocity with which we work on a day-to-day life, and especially with AI and all, we are working on features, we are working on new directions every week. We don't have any research. But after we are doing, we are trying to put it through user testing and all, trying to validate them. It is going together, hand in hand. So this might be a concept for everyone, that my user is going to tell me what they want. I am going to design it. Is it true? Everyone is thinking like this. There might be a mindset. You are thinking that your user is God. Your user knows everything. We're just going to give you a checklist and you're going to put it in Figma. That's not how it will work. Right. So I just, came from Bangalore, and there was a Salesforce design days. So he came as a speaker. So when he was doing Growfers, he bought a Harvard friend, who was extremely good with analytics and research. So first they did Growfers without any research. Their business model was delivery by supplier. They were just supplying delivery boys. And then they thought, okay, we can also add, it was a B2B model. And then they started B2C, saying that, okay, people can order also from their store. And then that, do you think you do research for everything before you, invest in any company, or if you start your startups and all? He said, no, I don't do research at all. This was his point. He's like, after we were earning lots of money from Grofer, we thought that, okay, now we are a big company. Let us bring this research analytics fellow from Harvard. And that person, after 2 months of research, he presented an extremely important insight. Do you know what? He analyzed all data from Grofers, and he said that, do you know, when people order bread, their probability of ordering egg is high. And then he was making fun of it. He was saying, because chote bacche also know in our country that anda and bread go hand in hand. We don't need a Harvard degree to know that. So he was like, look at Steve Jobs' recordings. Your user doesn't know what they want. He never believed in research. Steve Jobs. Your user never knew they need iPod. Your users never knew they needed a smartphone. If research was the way to discover this revolutionary, groundbreaking thing, it would be very difficult. We don't know what we want 100 years down the line. We are all facing problems in our life. That doesn't mean user knows everything. But what we know is that what we are making for them, is it going to make sense for them? So that's where validation research plays a much important role to validate a concept before you launch that concept, right? It's not that you go with an absolute blind face and brain. What do you want, my user? I want this, I come back, I exactly make that. Out of the box means out of research result. So you have lot of vectors which influence your product. One of those vectors is this guy. Let me quickly scroll to that part. This one, competitive analysis. So your user research, people didn't say training rating is important or not, but in competitive rating you will see most of your competitors are giving it. That means you have to give it. Competitive analysis adds this thing. Then user research adds the basic user pain points and all. But third is the innovation layer, which you create and you validate with the user, right? Basically, I know when you are designing something or proposing something which is based on strong fundamentals of UX principles, then there is no question of usability. You are generating value, novel value by something which nobody has thought before. Let me give you an example. You are looking at fitness app in a unidirectional way. Fitness app, I think most of you are doing, right? For elderly, but most of you will be doing fitness app, right? Yeah. So when you look at fitness app, your brain is already biased with so many fitness app that you guys have already used. You have already used fitness trackers. You know a fitness app will track your number of steps, your heartbeat. That means that has become a saturated domain already, and your brain is biased with those thoughts. In order to break that bias, challenge the whole domain by saying, I will have a zero experience fitness app. I will create an experience that will nudge me to do fitness, bite size fitness. My fitness app is do 5 minutes of workout every 1 hour. I'm going to nudge you to do chair workout for long, sitting people who are working from home. So there are apps actually like that also, but you are looking at something which people haven't heard before. There is a fitness app where you walk and you convert your steps into money and you do it for charity. Isn't it looking at the same problem differently? You are walking for your health and for other people's health. If you ask an elderly person, if you do not ask this question, then does it mean that it's beyond research? No. When you were asking questions, it was not part of that scope. That means when you were envisioning this product, you had limitation in your thinking, right? It was not user's problem also. So when you define the value of your first work on the value of the application or value of the product you are building, when you have generated the value of the product, then you reach out to the relevant audience. That same fitness for elderly people can be understood or represented through 10 or 15 different ways of representing that product. It can be it can be for connecting elderly people through different motivations. Can be connecting them through communities. It can be connecting them through motivations. Different ways can be interpreted, but first in your brain you should have a novel idea which can be told, which can be written in, which can be said in an elevator. Have you guys heard about elevator pitch? Elevator pitch is that elevator is going from ground floor to seventh floor. You have to sell your product during that time. That is an elevator pitch. So what is the elevator pitch of your fitness app? First give me that, right? Then you go for your research. The problem with people when they first start design career, I have studied design for long time, and then this is what I've realized, that it is not a formula that I create set of question, I go to user and magic happens. Creativity spark is the key driver of your projects, right? So just setting expectation here, guys. Don't make trivial projects represented in a much trivial way to go out of the league of this whole job industry. This job industry is extremely aggressive, guys. Every second a UX designer is born in this country, especially now. That kind of competitiveness is there, right? So you better try to position yourself with that kind of a value creator. If you cannot propose yourself as a value creator, you will be like a Figma operator. There can be 100 Figma operators, but one value creator who operates through Figma, right? So yeah, so with that thing, please try to structure your portfolio. So let me also show you these things. I think I have showed, right? The way I dissected the portfolios. I'm not sure if I've added it here. Let me see. Case study evaluation. Yeah, this page has it. So go to your Figma Jam 8 and you will find this page, case study evaluation. This page is loading, by the way, guys. If you see, it is loading. So how I have done this exercise just for all of you to, just, take this model and go further. See, now holistically at one level, you need to understand how much, design I should do, how much research I should do. This is problem that, all of you must be having in your brains, right? How much of what should I do to qualify it as a portfolio project, right? It is a very usual problem that comes. So first we are writing the screenplay of the movie. Without the screenplay, the movie cannot be made, right? So look at this. These are all fitness apps. Everyone has the same story to say. Something around fitness. Value around fitness is the motive. But these are, like one of the projects, the size of the project, this is the growth one, this big. The size of the second one is this big. Third one is this big. But if you look at references, is this the one? Let me see. No. So if you look at, if you just come to this page, you have your whole promotional part, thumbnail part. Then see, everyone has a project overview part. So can you start working on these? This is already there in your Figma Jam 8 case study evaluation. You can find it here. So these are all context setting that, this is the heading, this is the project initiation, then you have the about project, it sets context. Then if you look at this one, this is the design process. Design process. Okay. Now this guy never worked on design process, which is okay. You don't have to work on that. Means adding this design process thing may not be an important thing to add. You can skip it. So now you can, even go below like this. You can, move it below. And scope of work. Okay. Someone added a scope of work like this. Done. Then competitive analysis is part of this person's research. This person has worked on user survey. And then these two more things he has worked on. And this person has directly worked on the flows, which is okay. But job stories, this is the second research part. This is also the research part continuing. Okay. Then we have CJM, Cano model, CJM, all part of your research. And here, so I have to move it down to bring it to the same altitude now, right? And here, if you see, information architecture is part of the research output. All these folks, they haven't done anything. Then you have user flow. So user flow is where these guys, so now I can match them with user flow. Okay. This is where user flow is happening. Okay. Then we have, prototyping. One of the screens, he added. And I'm going to bring all of these things down. You have user flow, user flow, user flow. 3 ways of doing user flow. Then I'm going to, hit everything, move them down. So you can see color and typography, color and typography. And this guy also did color and typography. Okay, done. So slowly and slowly, you will see I'm going to bring them down to the design part. So this is the design part that, this Grow Fitness app did. This is the design part. And, this person, I think, worked on some typography thing. So we can add it here, typography thing. These are all UI kit, all those things. And this is a low fidelity version, which this person worked on, but other people didn't work on low fidelity version. So we can keep it separate like this, right? So there are different zones being created. Now, can you see how I'm trying to, do different zones? So there is a usability thing created at this level, which they didn't do. So when I'm working on some ideas where I don't have confidence, I will create usability. So now I am coming down here and I can see, okay, this person has also worked on grid. So I'll move the grid part up above here. Okay. So now I am basically talking layer by layer to the same section. And this is where the code design part has worked. for both of them. And last, you have a, so first work on this kind of a strategy. Okay. From the top to the bottom, I will work on this and I'm going to time box it to, let's say, 2 hours. In 2 hours, I have to create the thumbnail of my life. Was this an assignment? Yes or no? This was an assignment, right? Right? This was an assignment you have already submitted. Consider it done. Work on your project goal. What I'm saying, the value of the project. Don't just write, I want to make a fitness app for elderly. No. Write the value of the project. That with this thing, someone is going to do this, and that's going to change their lives like this. Write it with that kind of a maturity. Once you're done with this, design process. Is it too much of a brainer to add a design process, guys? Tell me honestly. Whatever project you're doing, competitive analysis is not a brainer. You can do competitive analysis really fast. Keep 1 day for it. Then all your, Professor Keur's assignment, user research, literature study, contextual inquiry, whatever you have done, try to do the same for the respective app. And this is the kind of artifact you will get. It need not be the only way to represent it. It can be like this also. And I will recommend whatever project you are doing, get similar projects from Behance or all, and try to put them in the same level, how they have, told the story, right? Like this. Then you have user flow. So typical user flow, this is important, right? Then you have some kind of a low fidelity screenshot. We can put it here, both of them at the same level. Then I'm going to put the rest little top. Then this color thing and all these things, right? See, if you work with Figma styles and all, you can create these things. You can change them at any point of time till your design submission. You don't have to immediately decide. Your work is not blocked because you have not decided yet. You are creating a structure in Figma and you're keeping them placeholder, but you will have lot of, heavy rocks lifted from your heart. Chalo, my portfolio, these many pages are already there. Now see, look at this. Your components are going to evolve. Put a placeholder image for now. You'll evolve it, right? The last moment, the most updated composition, you just replace it. That's it. And then you have this low fidelity things. Now you may think that before the research result is there, can I design? Absolutely, you can design. You can design without any research and then go to research. Or you can research and come back and then design. There is no rule. Have your own rule, own comfort. And after you create it, look at how, easily they are, created. Don't spend a lot of time in onboarding. Copy someone's onboarding. No one is going to give you credit on onboarding. Everyone knows how to do onboarding. Then this is usability testing we are going to do later on. And then this is the high fidelity designs that happen. So now we're going to take more questions on how difficult are you guys facing in order to create high fidelity designs, because eventually you have to create your own high fidelity designs using Figma. There is no escape. You are applying for the job of a UX designer. Ashnir Grover said he worked with designers face to face to get designs done immediately. He didn't keep any middleman. For all his designs, okay, let's bring a designer, Figma, done. So this is how the high fidelity designs happen. Now this is a good set of high fidelity things for you to understand that, okay, I will start with the registration, then some. So if you see, it's not complete flow. It's just some key screens, right? Which is okay to start with. Don't think about that I have to create a prototype. Just statistic screens and all. Because people will go here during your interview and they will ask you, okay, let's look at it for a while. You have statistics for this. Then they will say that, okay, how do you compare how you were doing this month versus last month? You haven't thought about it. What if you have to think now, how would you represent? Getting it? This is how they are going to, ideate with you to see how flexible your thinking muscles are, right? So your design is the source of questions in your interview. Design in a way that it's scalable, that it's well adopted. It can be adopted easily. There are not too many hidden under clicks thing for discoverability problem. We talked about everything, so you can pick it from the chat. And then you have, okay, profile page. Nobody will go detail inside it. You know that, okay. And they may go if they see some blunder. And then they have created a widget.